Again, it's quads. This is the Fawley Challenge Cup, which is junior men's quads. We've got Marlow A on the left of your picture in the red, and Los Gatos, another West Coast crew from the US. Welcome if you're watching us from the USA. This is Los Gatos going off on the Fawley Challenge Cup with Marlow on the left, encroaching across the centre. I suspect the umpire might have a flag coming out of the bag. There it is, Kath.
And as you say, there's John Hedger with his recognisable cap, let's just say, warning Marlow crew just to move over. And again, these are coxless boats, so it's going to be one of the athletes in the boat who will steer. What we've seen is quite a huge correction by the Marlow crew. They've gone very quickly over to their side and then straightened up level there. And actually, interestingly, what you also see is the Los Gatos crew almost starting to be pulled over by Marlow. It's such a, we look here, it looks like such a wide course, but when you're there, it feels very narrow.
Yeah, well, the umpire's now also warned Los Gatos, who has taken advantage of that steering diversion by Marlow to creep out almost to a length here. That's a kind of danger zone. Oh my goodness, we've lost an oar in the Marlow crew for a second. A bit of a shipwreck. Poppy water, and it looks like a bow. We've got a problem. Have we caused an equipment problem, or is it just a bit of messy, wavy conditions there? I think they've recovered, but well, that is unfortunately the opportunity Los Gatos needed to put a nail in this race.
Well, we were saying it before, weren't we? All it can sometimes take is a tiny moment, a catch with a wave, a bit of a wind, and suddenly it's up. But to be fair to Marlow, we're now moving to the live footage a little bit down the course. They haven't dropped considerably back. They will have got a huge surge of adrenaline from that mistake, and now they're going to just see if they can reel Los Gatos back in.
So there are two ways it goes when you have a mistake like that, isn't it? One is the adrenaline is so acute that everybody just tries to rip the sides off the boat and the whole thing grinds to a halt. The other is that you are calm and cool about it and you deploy that aggression in a more controlled way. And it looks to me like that's what Marlow have managed to do here. Credit to them for that. Difficult, but you can see again, crosswind causing different. Look at this, they're kind of cross in front of John Hedger there. He's not going to like that. He's restraining himself at the moment.
I know, and you can just see that the Marlow blades are just a little bit untidy. In these conditions, it just brings in a bit more risk than you'd ideally like. So again, when the risk of the blades catching the water, the steering, any of these tiny things can unsettle a crew. And again, you need a very, very kind of confident, mature voice to make the adjustments needed. So something like that dramatically happens. Can someone in the crew take control of it and get them back on plan? We
should talk here a bit about the Los Gatos crew as well, though, because they really are a class crew. They won the Head of the Charles race, the US Southwest champs. Really a great season for them, and they are really sculling well down this course. They took advantage early on, and they're really pushing through the middle of the course as Marlow try to attack back through the centre of this course. This is really the Badlands, isn't it? This is where the head can go. You're really, really tiring, and Los Gatos have got to keep their composure. Don't get lost here. Keep your heads up, keep your heads up, keep your lungs open, and push those legs.
I'm thinking about the Badlands now. I quite like that. And you can see the bow pair in Los Gatos crew as well, just constantly checking on the Marlow crew. So there's that still, it's almost an instinctive thing. You sense when a crew's close and almost slightly uncomfortably close. You don't want them to close anymore. So Los Gatos taking a very close eye on Marlow. Still have the advantage they want, but I mean, again, we're talking about physicality. You can see the American crew really laying it down, stroke after stroke.
So we just saw the faces of Marlow as they were trying to push on there, and for me, they're having another go here in the middle of the course, but challenge still with the water, clipping the water with those oars just as they try to attack. It's almost as if the tension that they're needing to put into that attack is causing them to tie up a little bit. Tough for Marlow. So Alexander Fomin at bow, Monty Sanders at 2, Samuel Cook at 3, and in the strokesy and steering, it's Jerry Anderson, used to strings potentially, pushing through the middle of the course. It's the Marlow A crew. Los Gatos also struggling, though, with the wind here, Kath.
I know, and again, although the water looks relatively flat from the footage, you know, we've all been there in those boats when the blades are moving around, the water's bouncing the boat underneath you. You're just, you know, with any kind of sculling, you're obviously holding on to, you know, one oar in each hand, and suddenly it's just unsettling when it can happen on one side or the other. So you see both crews really having to cope with it. The Marlow crew is coached by Pete Chambers, who obviously a fantastic international athlete himself. He will have talked through the crews, you know, what it can be like, how they can cope with this.
Yeah, so we see the oars of Marlow, and I said it's the Badlands really because it's such a swirly and difficult part of the course today, given the wind direction here. You can see, though, Marlow now are starting to worry. The heads are starting to turn, but they are having another go. Credit to these young men, really driven on hard by Jerry Anderson. He's got the responsibility of setting the stroke rate, the stroke length, and the steering, but here they come. Here come Marlow, and Los Gatos are lifting it. Come on, Marlow. Push the race through to Los Gatos. Come on, Los Gatos. Stay ahead.
Well, this is the exciting thing. They'll hear the crowd. They'll know the end is very, very close. This is like, you do everything now or it's over. And this is what it's all going to come down to.
So Los Gatos and Marlow, it's danger time for Los Gatos. If they come across the centre line here, they could encroach upon Marlow's water. If they've been warned by the umpire that Marlow might appeal, they just about clean as they cross the finish line. There's overlap, maybe 3/4 of a length there. Los Gatos, well, you can see how hard that was for them. What do you think, Kath?
Oh, I mean, both crews are going to be absolutely exhausted by that. They do get the white flag, so although there was sort of drama and steering through to the end, do you think there's a sense of what if that Marlow crew hadn't caught early, what might have happened?
Look at the difference between victory and defeat here. Marlow threw absolutely everything into that, completely gutted. Rightly so. That's what you need to do in rowing, is you need to spend all your beans if you're down, and they attacked and they attacked and they attacked, but it wasn't to be Marlow's day. Close to their home water, Los Gatos from all the way across the other side of the world, the Sunshine State, out there on the reservoir south of San Jose, the Lexington Reservoir. That's where they train. They've come all the way to the waters of Henley Royal Regatta to join countless decades of athletes who've competed here. So what a great race, junior men's quads.